Tales from the Darkside, Season 1, Episode 10, Djinn, No Chaser. A title that gives you absolutely no indication about what this episode is actually about. So I'm going to change the title. A man buys a magic lamp with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in it. See, doesn't that sell the title a lot better? This is another example of Tales from the Goof side. Fully half this series is comic episodes, and we get another comic episode, but it does have one of the best basketball players to ever exist in it. So, for that reason alone, it's worth at least a watch. So let's go through Djinn, No Chaser.
And the final attempt at Kareem, that sky hook slam dunk, but he gets all five. And the breakdown for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is a total of 25 points, just like Ron Lee attained, 10 for the dunks.
Our main character is Danny, and the episode starts with him in a mental institution. Throughout the course of this episode, it cuts between him talking very uncomfortably close to the camera in this mental institution and him recounting the story about how him and his wife found this magic lamp.
Strictly love it. And being fed through a straw, what's not to love? It's just if I could have my arms free, you know, I'm kind of an excitable kind of a guy, and
The parts where he's talking to the camera, I think, are my least favorite. He's really close. He's really hopped up and acting quote-unquote crazy, and I think it was unnecessary. They should have just played the story out without these constant cuts to him in the mental institution screaming at the camera. They'll be having like a regular conversation, then it'll just cut to him yelling right in front of you in the mental institution, then it'll go back to the past where they talk about how they get this lamp. So Danny and his wife Connie have just gotten married. They've been married for 4 days, and they're walking, and then suddenly they see this magical tent that just appears right in front of them. And this magical tent is having a going out of business sale. Everything must go. This guy wants to sell absolutely everything he has in his inventory. So they go in there and buy this magic lamp for $10. Connie gets into a debate with her husband, Danny, on whether she should rub the lamp or not. After all, when you rub a magical lamp, you get wishes. They're also in this kind of ridiculous waterbed that is bouncing up and down. Wow, those really went out of fashion, didn't they? After the 4,000th time of it leaking, you go, maybe we should just do spring or foam mattresses. Who knows, maybe they'll make a comeback, like vinyl. So they're bouncing around in this waterbed, and she's trying to argue with him over whether she should rub the lamp or not. And I'm like, just wait until he goes to sleep, go in the bathroom and rub the lamp. Like, come on. But as they're bouncing up and down this waterbed, the lamp just kind of falls on the ground and I guess rubs itself. And we get the Genie. However, we learn that the Genie is actually trapped in the lamp. And he doesn't really give any way that they can get him out of this lamp. He doesn't know how to get out of the lamp. He's been in there for 10,000 years. And so he just decides to screw with them. He makes their lives a living hell. He doesn't let them leave this New York City apartment, which they show is still kind of in disarray. They're painting the walls and it's a very cheap place. Every time one of them tries to leave, he has a lion or an elephant right at their door yelling at them, scaring them back into the apartment. He then causes it to rain in the apartment, throws moss all over the place, throws this green slime, and basically just wrecks the entire place. It makes their lives a living hell. All because he can't get out of this lamp. Seems like a pretty evil Genie so far. And he is voiced by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who does actually a good job.
Oh, by the way, there's snakes in the bathroom now.
It's no worse than the decomposing dog.
That's not there anymore.
And I'm just getting warmed up.
I've got to get away from all of this.
You can divorce her. As you say, she wanted the lamp, not you.
Danny mentions that the Genie does a lot of terrible things to them. Puts lava in the apartment, a monsoon, frogs falling from the sky, snakes, all sorts of stuff, but we don't really ever see this. We just see it start to rain, and then it kind of flashes to the apartment being trashed. Actually would have made the episode more interesting if we actually saw more things blowing up and, I don't know, frogs falling from the skies like rainy season. So then the Genie mentions that there is one way that Danny can get out of this predicament. Since the Genie won't let either of them leave the apartment, Danny divorces his wife, the Genie will let him out of the apartment. And he ends up escaping. Flashes to him at the mental hospital, and then, somehow, he manages to convince a doctor to let him leave the mental hospital, at least for the day. And he goes back to his old apartment and finds that things are actually going really, really well. His wife is very happy. The place is all clean. There's no lava on the floor. Not that we ever saw lava to begin with, but supposedly there was. Now we first see Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and he is quite tall. He towers over Danny and basically says that he's been taking care of his wife They are not subtle about this, and it seems like the genie kind of wanted his wife this entire time. They show that the way she got him out of the, was with like a can opener. So he comes home, the genie's with his wife, in exactly the way you think he is. But it seems like Danny can actually live with this, and is just happy that everyone is happy. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar gives a little bit of a speech, and they all live happily together. Does the genie ever leave? Who knows? Are they in a throuple? Probably. Did he get cucked? Definitely. But at least the killer frogs and snakes are gone from the apartment, and maybe now they will actually get some wishes. First wish, stop sleeping with my wife. Second wish, give me a lot of money. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 10. I'll read a few reviews, but virtually all the reviews are negative. There is one positive review. Any action you could see is kind of scuttled. And it would have been cool to maybe see him grant them some wishes, even if it's like a bedazzled situation where his wishes turn out to be negative for their lives. Alright, so let's look at some reviews. 4 out of 10, that's what I gave it. Dopey comic episode. A hostile and unfriendly genie. Legendary towering basketball player Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who's mostly heard and only seen at the very end, who's stuck in a rusty old magic lamp, refuses to grant wishes to a young couple and decides to terrorize them instead and tell the wife, blah blah blah. The genie's constant array of insults are simply mean and stupid. Yeah, they're supposed to be funny, but he's just like, you guys suck, you're idiots. So he's supposed to say Charlie. Charlie Levin as the distraught husband really grates on my nerves with his unsufferable manic mugging. Yeah, they're referring to when he's in the mental institution. He's super close to the camera and overacting. When he's not doing that, he's actually okay. But yeah, I don't know why they put in those scenes. It's very odd. Only Camp manages to keep her dignity despite the dumb material, and as a result, prevents this episode from being a complete washout. One of the show's lesser half hours. 5 out of 10. 4. 1. Every series has their low, and this episode is way worse than any others. Wait till we get to If the Shoe Fits. This episode tries to be funny, but it's really quite pathetic. It deals with a couple, Levin and Camp, both, I guess, imitating Woody Allen or something, although he wasn't Annie Hall. They go to a little shop and buy a lamp, inhabited by a poorly acted genie, voiced and played by Jabbar. Oh, come on. He acts okay. He's no Robin Williams, though. That is mean and likes to make fun of them. The whole episode is being told by Charles Levin in a mental hospital. The worst part. The ending is pathetic, and I'm just plain sad that such a great series would make this episode. 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10. I think they dislike it more than I do. Okay, here we go. 10 out of 10. The very best of the series. This guy should be sent to a mental institution. You hear me? Arizona Nightwolf. Every series has their high, and this episode is way better than any others. There's not a single one that's better, not even the circus one. This episode is funny, to be sure. It is really quite campy. It deals with a couple, Levine and Camp, channeling Woody Allen or something. People keep referencing Woody Allen. He was in Annie Hall. But they go to a little shop that appears out of nowhere and vanishes just as quick, and buy a lamp inhabited by a genie voiced and played by Jabbar. That is mean. It likes to make fun of them. The whole episode is being told by Charles Levine in a mental hospital. The ending has a predictable twist, but other than that, it's the funniest episode of the series. It's just plain sad that such a great episode would be panned by other viewers. Yeah, those people suck. Who would ever do that? Alright, so that's the reviews. 2, 2, 2, 5. Alright.
Is an American former basketball player. He played professionally for 20 seasons for the Milwaukee Bucks and Los Angeles Lakers in the National Basketball Association, NBA, and played college basketball for the UCLA Bruins as a center. Abdul-Jabbar won a record 6 NBA Most Valuable Player, MVP, awards. He was a 19-time NBA All-Star, a 15-time All-NBA team member, and an 11-time NBA All-Defensive Team selection. He was a member of 6 NBA championship teams as a player and 2 more as an assistant coach, and was twice voted the NBA Finals MVP. He was named to 3 NBA anniversary teams, 35th, 50th, and 75th. 1. Widely regarded as one of the greatest players of all time, 2, 3, 4, he has been called the greatest basketball player of all time by many of his contemporaries such as Pat Riley, Isaiah Thomas, and Julius Erving. 5, 6, 7. Abdul-Jabbar broke the NBA's career scoring record in 1984, and held it until LeBron James surpassed him in 2023. Abdul-Jabbar